Hello everybody and welcome to a new season of J2ICS Racing. It is a GT3 Sprint Championship here this time around as we take on a number of tracks across the world until the end of September. 60-minute races for the most part, apart from a couple of 90-minute races sprinkled in between as well. This is the Parabolic Companies J2ICS GT3 Sprint Championship here in Season 11 of the J2ICS League. It's great to be along for a new season and a fantastic entry we've got as well. Qualifying is just underway, we'll get to that in a moment, but it's myself, Ewan and Dean Biggles, who will be taking you through the season, taking you through this opening round here tonight. We're at the Nurburgring here, Biggles, the Grand Prix circuit. We've got just over 30 GT3s out there on the circuit, and this is going to be a good start to the season. GT3 racing always brings the numbers, and a lot of people have been putting in a lot of laps, and I'm sure are very excited to get this new season underway.
Yes, good evening, Ewan. It's always fantastic to start a new season off because the slate is wiped clean with everybody. You can go out there and see what sort of performance that you've been doing, how much practice have you been doing, your homework during the off-season, and get ready to go racing here this evening.
Absolutely, and this season, as I say, J2ICS is proudly sponsored by Parabolic Companies. At Parabolic Companies, we don't just invest in real estate, we build momentum. From revitalizing neighbourhoods to powering progress through innovative development, our mission is to create lasting impact in every community we touch. Whether it's laying foundations or backing fierce competition on the virtual track, Parabolic brings precision, passion and performance. That's Parabolic Companies, who are title sponsors of this J2ICS GT3 Sprint Championship season here this time around, and a big thanks for them to them for coming on board here this time around. Lots of new talking points because it is a new season, and lots of new teams and all sorts to go through over the course of tonight. We'll try and get through all of them. We do have it pretty simple, I must admit. Just one 60-minute race in sim. It will be 3 p.m. start time. No darkness to worry about. 16x is your incident limit before you start getting drive-throughs at every 8x after that until you get to 32, at which point you're disqualified. 55% of these fuel tanks are allowed to be used, and so that means the pit window, which will be right in the middle of the race, between 28 and 34 minutes, supposedly, in what should be a 31-lap race. No tyre change anticipated, even though you can change tyres and refuel at the same time these days. It does cost you a lot of time on cold tyres, so according to our sheet here, tyre change is not anticipated, but I would question that, and I would think maybe a couple of drivers are going to. I'm not sure how much you've seen of the new tyre model in GT3 Biggles in our racing since it was introduced this season, but I've got to say, it adds a real layer to this racing because it is super difficult to get back underway again after the pit stops. Getting underway and warming your tyres up is very, very difficult.
That would make sense as to what I've seen a lot of cars having some problems coming out of pit road and into the first couple of turns,
yep.
At least out of the pit stops, and then, making mistakes lately. That would make perfect sense. I did not know about that too until now. I've seen it and experienced it, but I didn't realize that's because of the updates.
Just thought people were driving badly.
Yeah, I just got cold tyres, mate. But it's just, cold tyres, warm hearts. But it literally is cold tyres going to get temperatures up to them. Let's have a look at the qualifying. Any particular driver as we get the Ewan special we're right on board with? I'm seeing somebody sitting in the middle sector out there, man. That will be our Polish driver you're talking about right here, flying. Look at the liveries. That's another thing we have to look at this season. I'm absolutely looking forward to looking at these fantastic liveries. We're looking at the Porsche, doing the Porsche things. Maybe putting the Porsche on the top of the front row.
I think this is going to be the end of a lap for Bob Nova by the looks of it. Dickinson, and there you go, third place up to at the moment, although Prince Adam's leading by 6 tenths. Simply Steve moves up to second, so now the times are starting to come in. Dickinson's also going to go over the line here and does move to the top. So the times are going to tumble now. The times are definitely going to start to tumble. 56.8 from Dickinson that time around, but there's more time in that car. 4 laps only completed in this session, and so the first couple of those have been used to warm up the tyres, and as you can see there, it seems that maybe even after 2 laps or so, you're still not quite up to temperature yet, and so in qualifying, you need all of these 15 minutes effectively to get these tyres up to temperature.
And that's exactly the situation as well. Those tyres are tumbling at the moment. Captain K is going to be crossing the line at the moment. Where's he going to Slot himself, not crossing the line, just cross the line there. I don't think it might have been invalidated lap. Still seeing some drivers sit sometimes in there. Take us on board. Who would you like to go on board with and take us around Nurburgring?
Who's coming towards the end of a lap, I wonder? Biker Pilot's just making his way over the line, so we could go for him. He's 22nd at the moment, as long as he carries on with his lap down in towards turn number 1, and it looks like he is going to. So we'll follow him along for a lap of the Nurburgring. Down on the brakes, slightly downhill in towards turn 1. That's where the action's going to be off the start. It's going to be a very lively start, I've got to say. Now through turn 2, the Mercedes Arena, effectively, the start of the Mercedes Arena. Effectively making this into one sweeping smooth curve that you have to accelerate and brake in the middle of. Really get yourself over the left-hand side curve there to open this out. First gear maybe a bit low, but now accelerating through the gears out of the Mercedes Arena and down towards turn 6, which is the left-hander. Well, I don't want to run it out too far wide here. You want to get the best exit down the hill after this corner, the forward curve at turn 7, and that was quite nicely done by Biker Pilot there. Used that bit of exit curve on the outside, and now run to the very bottom of the hill, the Dunlop curve, which is, I'd say, really quite at the bottom of the hill there. It's quite a deep braking zone as a result. First gear again, which is a bit surprising, but nicely uses that exit curve. Now over the top of the hill for the Schumacher S. Just a little bit of a lift off. Such a great committed corner in these cars. Oh, using a lot of the road, but that's what it's there for. Now down in towards the next chicane. This is turn number 11. That you have to again pull to the left hand side coming out the way of so you can open out this corner. So many of these corners at this circuit are basically repeats of each other. So 6 and 7 very similar to 11 and 12, and then there's a very normal bog standard slow chicane at the end of the lap. I'm pleased we're using the slow chicane, by the way, because it will promote overtaking opportunity at a circuit where it is otherwise quite difficult, but a bit clumsy in qualifying. First gear again used by Biker Pilot just to get the car accelerated out of the other side. Now into the final turn, first gear again. If I was giving him any coaching, I would say leave it in second a bit more often, but anyway, he makes his way up towards the line now, Biker Pilot, and is that going to get him any quicker? I think it will. Whether it will gain him any places, no it doesn't, but he does go quicker at least in 23rd. Dickinson's gone quicker as well. He's now at the top of the standings ahead of Simply Steve, who's really challenging him there, and that McLaren, there he is, just less than half a second away, and we'll see on this lap whether he's going to go quicker. He's got a couple of purples.
Purple's good. Purple's good, as we all know, so let's see or not Simply Steve. I'm just getting used to the names, of course, up here at the moment, because usually drivers have a first and last name, but a lot of these people in this league have their own nicknames, it appears to be. Rounding up the chicane here. He's only basically got one sweeping right-hand corner to go right now. If he nails this one perfectly, spots the apex there. Great on the power, as fast as he possibly can, down the main straight. Will he take 410 off and steal the fastest time? No, he must have it off track. Oh, he will, but he'll slice 110.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, just improved slightly. Dickinson improves a little bit more, though, in the Mustang in the background. And Joshua Spears moves up to the second place as well with improvement there. So that is good news for him, too. Nova's into the pit lane. Oh, sorry, off the circuit, actually, on an out lap at the moment. And so anybody else going to improve on lap times here? Who's your Dallas? Not a driver I've seen before. And through the final quarter now. Onto the front straight. Where is this Porsche going to end up this time round? Should be a bit quicker. Yep, 15th place for him. And that's a big jump upwards for Captain CK in the Acura. Moves up to 7th. So in the top 7, or top 7 at the moment, we've got Ford Mustang, McLaren, Lamborghini, Audi, Corvette and Acura, all represented, with a Porsche then in 9th place. Make that 7 manufacturers or so in the top 10, which is pretty good to see.
Absolutely, and it's interesting with these names too that you got, because you've got Biker Pilot here, it's just improved up at a P17, and then from Canada you got Spring Flower. I'm wondering if anybody can let us know in the chat what's with the reference of some of these nicknames that these drivers have got here this evening. As you can see, Spring Flower in the 11th place pulls it off to the side there, because we are in now the closing stages of the qualifying. Hey, maybe saving the best for last. Prince Adam here on a flyer.
And maybe he's purple in the second sector at the moment. Just on that point, Ewan just is in YouTube chat. Good evening to him. Sad to hear that he's not racing for the first couple of weeks, but I'm sure we'll see him later on in the season. Long-time J2ICS driver. he says, yeah, it's a nickname league effectively, and the drivers with normal names just don't have one yet in either in our system or actually they haven't applied one at the moment. But I know a couple of the guys are not keeping it to not creating their own nickname. They're just using their first or last name just on their own as a nickname, which I guess works as well. Like Dickinson, which is Sean Dickinson of the SimCity Racing team, as far as I can tell. Penny Dickinson is celebrating the successful qualifying for the moment for Sean, who is up the top of the standings. Captain Nick is going to end the session. Comes around the final corner in the Accurate, and we'll see where he gets to in a moment. As he crosses the line, that is going to be a small improvement, and he moves up to the top 5. So he is the first non-American in the field. 5th place for him after 15 minutes or so. But that was the first qualifying session of the season. Gives us a real taste of what we're going to see here throughout season 11. This is a big field and a congested field. It certainly feels like it here at the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit. It's not a very wide circuit, not a very long circuit, although lap time is relatively. And there will be more cramped circuits to come a little bit later on in the season, thinking of ones like the Charlotte Roval, perhaps, and Rutschkogan and Brands Hatch, Belle Isle. They will all be more cramped than this one, but nevertheless, it was a pretty cramped session here at the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit, that is for sure. As for whatever reason, the qualifying session is not ending just yet, even though everybody's down in the pit lane. We just have to wait.
All of our drivers, I believe, set some of the times. Actually, 3 drivers didn't. James McKinney, McMurk, and Logan McKenzie did not set a time. And what's interesting, well, some of these drivers should be quite used to this track recently with the iRacing special event, shouldn't they? So I don't think it's one of those tracks that you should forget anytime soon. Some of the drivers probably like, really? Here again? I feel like I did 24 hours around this the other day. We'll see. We, my friend, Mr. Ewan, will have our first grid of the season.
Yes, we will, yes, because the race session has now begun. It will be Dickinson on pole for the first time this season, with Joshua Spears alongside. Simply Steve and Prince Adam round out the top 2 rows inside the half a second mark. Captain CK and then Corndog are on row 3 ahead of Notvin. Long-time J2ICS successful driver, of course, sort of Tigas in 8th place. Bob Nova and Nicolator round out the top 10 with Springflower and Jason Manucci. Then on row 6. 13th place has gone the way of Zach, and Joe Albanese is in 14th. Then it's G-Bay in 15th place ahead of Huzia Dallas, Biker Pilot and Beaver. 2 drivers who were with us last season share row 9, with Nota Supra and Ryan Schwab rounding out the top 20. Dylan Meyer and Black Bob Wallace are next ahead of DC and Paper Bag. It's Sassy and Justin Wiley who are sharing row 13 ahead of Omega and Jace Mayer. Pebble is in 29th ahead of those 3 who, as you say, didn't qualify, and because they're not gridded up at the moment, I'm slightly fearful they won't start. McMurk is hanging about in the session, I think. Maybe the other 2 won't, so it will be around 30 we get to start this race here today, and it's going to be a short formation lap as well, and indeed a short run down in towards turn 1, where the action this season is going to kick off very, very quickly.
Yes, it will. Rolling start, as you can currently see behind the pace car. As you can see the lockout there on the front row of the teammates and all those fantastic liveries we'll be getting to see. Hopefully, you'll be seeing some of these fantastic liveries crossing the line there and seeing Barney. I'm sure there may be a bit of carnage, of course, to expect of the first race of the season. We'll see how it all pans out there because, always starting a new season with new faces as well, too, on the grid. You don't know what it's like wheel-to-wheel racing with them, do you there, Ewan? Because practice is one thing, but door banging's another.
Yeah, exactly. Unless any of them have been doing any in practice, because there are plenty of practice sessions in this league, in case you weren't aware. Plenty of laps to be completed over the course of Friday, Sunday and Tuesday nights. Prince Adam topped one of the sessions. Joshua Spears topped the other 2. And cumulatively, Joshua did at least 100 laps in the server. That discounts any laps he might have done privately on his own. So some of these guys putting in a lot of work ahead of the first round of the season. That's always the way that it goes. We do have 29 getting underway. It looks like McMurk and Logan McKinsey are going to start from the pit lane. James McKinney, unfortunately, doesn't look like he's going to join us. So it's going to be 31 drivers to start this season, which is absolutely fantastic. A GT3 season of the J2ICS League, sponsored by Parabolic Companies this time around. The drivers now, the SimCity Racing drivers, the teammates, bring their cars to the start-finish line, and they get us ready for racing here at the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit. Really stung out through that final chicane as they get underway for the first time. The green flag waves with some of the field a long way down, but the two teammates in towards turn one won't have to fight too hard, and they will take the lead 1 and 2. Dickinson ahead of Joshua Spears with Simply Steve trying to get involved. Then next in line, Prince Adam with Captain CK in the top 5 position there as well. It's a clean start because the field was so spread out by those two leaders not waiting around at all off the start of this race.
Absolutely fantastic. So far so good. I'm not seeing anything of anybody going off track at the moment, completely all facing the wrong direction. So you like to see that. It's a long race, and it's a longer time to get there rather than a short time to get there, because you have a bit to go here. But I might have spoken too soon. Looks like Logan McKenzie might have a little bit of a slow start there for the Bucky's number 4 entry, but he is moving again.
Yep, he started from pit lane, so it might just flag up on your system as him going very slow, but that will happen at coming out the pit lane quite often. So there may not have been too much of a problem for him down there. As we have a look at the hairpin, a little bit of side-by-side further down. That's not Supra being overtaken by DC, or at least DC holding on to a 19th position. Not a Supra back into the top 20 now. This is it's from Belize, which is cool, if so. But I've never seen that flag in iRacing before, or indeed RSTK, so there's one to add to the list as we go on board with Paperbag. It's the midfield where there's a little bit of side-by-side here and there, but not all that much.
Yeah, there it is right now as well too. So you're looking further back down there in the 14th place there of G-Bay, who's under better pressure. Actually, more behind there, it's a Nick Beaver there on Zachary as they go through the S's. Side-by-side action already. They're loving it.
And through the other side, Beaver's going to get the place ahead of Zach, who's lost 3 places actually off the start. DC's made the most, I think. Up 4. Yep, indeed, it is DC who's made the most, and that pass was indeed on not a Supra down in towards the hairpin. Oh, that was close. Captain CK there getting very close to Prince Adam, and Notovin is next in line as well. Notovin has made up a place. He's the only one inside the top 6 actually to have made up a place so far, and he very nearly capitalised on Captain CK going a little bit AWOL through turn 1.
That's where your closest, one of your closest battles at the moment. It's a battle for the Canadians, actually, believe it or not, isn't it? Oh, and it looks like Bobanova has dropped off the track somewhere. There he is, actually, trying to get the cameraman to see after the Polish driver doing a good qualifying performance. Has had
that
contact.
Wasn't very good. Oh, Tigis tried to get back going as well. They've made contact initially there into turn 4, it looks like. They both spun off, and as Tigis tries to get back going again, he, well, I don't say retaliates, but he also hits Bobnova again. He got loose there, Bobnova, into turn 3, and still loose into 4. And there you go. Tigis tries to go round, but does it too tightly and spins around as well. I don't think that was in retaliation or anything from Tigis. I think he just didn't really look where he was going there when he tried to rejoin. Have a look at this.
Yeah.
Just drove straight into the Porsche. That's not the best bit of driving we'll see this season.
Maybe not a lot of damage on it. Those cars are pretty tough there for the GT3s. Should be able to continue to keep going there and not need that pit stop. But you were talking about the pit stops at the top of the hour. That'll be very interesting to see how that's going to pan out. So you do believe that they will have to head down the pit road at some point. And you said possibly checking tyres?
Well, I think the information that we've been handed says no tyres, and obviously the information we're handed is by league admins who have actually driven. Simply Steve on this occasion, and the rest of them, the admin team. A big Nicolator being one of them, and all the others. I won't go through everybody, but a big thanks to them who. For giving us the information that we desperately need from these drivers who actually race, unlike us, in these races. They were suggesting that no tyre change was required. Well, certainly no requirement, but no tyre change was going to be made. I suspect that there will be some, if I'm honest, but let's see how they play it, what they do here. in the GT3s, because it is a new league. Not familiar with the J2ICS league. We do go through fairly amount of different cars. We had GTPs and F4 cars last time, as that's a bit of side contact. I think that was Jason Winucki, wasn't it, getting ahead of Springflower, and now Albanese's trying to do the same as well.
Yeah, a bit of argy-bargy, bit of trading paints. That's what you're going to expect to get around here. It's not an easy place to overtake, as you'd mentioned. Unfortunately, it looks like DC's gone around. Yes, he has released the Kraken. It's gone off track there. Has to patiently wait for some of those drivers. Will drop from the outhouse, or so let's say the semi-penthouse to the outhouse currently at the moment, but still back into the race. And this battle still brewing on your screens for P10 behind Springfire up the road there, the French driver, the number 3. That's
close.
Racing, mate.
Oh, and into the Schumacher S. Beaver's done a very good job round the outside there. That is something you don't see happen too often. You don't see it work out too often anyway. That was very well done from Beaver to keep 11th place there, just ahead of his fellow Acura driver, Joe Albanese. And then it's GB in 13th, ahead of Zach, and then Biker Pilot. They're all queuing up here. But yeah, around the outside of the S's, the Schumacher S's rather, you don't see that too often.
Here we go for the American driver, the number 22. He's going to just stick his nose out there a little bit, but Joe's not going to fall for the bait on that one, as he's focusing on Mr. Nick Beaver up the road there. He's focusing on Springflower, and we've had it in the chat there. It's just a splash of fuel. Just a splash of fuel, my friend. Just a tiny little bit. Chucking the car back. That's all you need.
Okay, that's not what my information suggests, I've got to say. 55% fuel limit suggests, according to what I've been handed, 17 laps being the maximum that you can go. That means you'd require 14 laps of fuel. Maybe that is, maybe that's what you'd call a splash, but it's not what I call a splash. Anyway, Beaver up into the top 10. Springflower next, and Joe Albanese's going for it into turn 3. That's the off the circuit trying to make that work. Side to side contact. Springflower keeps the place again, coming out the other side of the Mercedes arena.
Brilliant race. I don't really want to go too far away from this group because it is an exciting battle, but we do have the Prince and the captain. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Look out for the number 50 from Canada as he's trying to bring it to the Prince up the road. Then, if you just got to be careful too, because he's got his fellow countryman of Noddy. Just say Noddy.
Yeah, not him. Yeah. Oh, you can.
Just lurking in the background.
There you go. Give him an Australian nickname.
Yeah, of course, have to.
Just shorten the name, put a Y at the end.
Yeah.
There you go. you've got an Australian name. Through the end of the middle sector and into the final one now for the captain as well. That might take that up, to be honest. Into the chicane, it's going to have to be, but not close enough on that Lamborghini this time round from Prince Adam. Good to see that Prince Adam has gone for the Lamborghini. Actually, I'm refreshed to see that here this season. There's not a car that's picked very widely in our racing anymore, but yeah, pleased to see it here in this league, and going pretty quickly with Prince Adam comfortably in the top 5 at the moment, ahead of Acura and Corvette. But it's Dickinson who's leading this race, and pretty comfortably so as well. After 8 minutes, that's another fastest lap of the race at the end of lap 4.
And the battle for P2 with Joshua and Simply Steve here going for it too for now. You can see Dixon starting to get a little bit of a lead up the road there by 2.2 and change. As these two going at it tooth and nail. Further back we've got Nick, the Nick show, and my camera's not showing me the right one show. Further back GB and Flower, they're still at it tooth and nail. In fact, they're almost side by side here. Good battles up through the field. There, Ewan, as to be expected.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, just looks up the inside there, and a little bit loose from Springflower through turn 3. Now the run maybe for GB off the corner. Is there going to be any chance maybe? Into turn 6 it's going to be pretty unlikely. Just pokes the nose but isn't going to go anywhere. It does look like we've been following it, as you say, for a couple of laps now, because this is the most interesting battle on the circuit really. Just looks like Springflower is not quite set off at the start of this race quite as quickly as maybe he would have liked to. He's been overtaken by Joe Albanese while we weren't looking, and now it looks like GB is going to do the same. Zach queuing up as well. There's a whole load of drivers queuing up here to try and pass that Corvette.
Yeah, but one thing to catch, another thing to overtake, as you know, you're going to have to get your old boys out a little bit. That's perfectly fine as long as you don't do the old police manoeuvre into the back of the car. You can see a good exit currently at the moment from GB. And I think this time around he will show his nose. He will lay his cards down on the table. And whether or not Springflower's going to call his bluff, I don't think he has. Well, kind of just still going, my friend. And they're going to get on with it too, because you've got the old number 73, Zach, who's got a bird's eye view to this one. He's got his popcorn. He's sitting back, relaxing, enjoying this show.
Down into the chicane, and that's quite late on the brakes from Springflower there. He's going to be, he just pulled it up in time, but he's not going to have a very good run off the other side of the corner, unfortunately for him. And now Gibe's going to be really in close behind. Zach just next in line as well. What's the run like off the final corner? It's pretty good for the Ferrari, and it is going to crouch behind that Corvette quite nicely here. Down in towards turn number 1, getting big slipstream now in towards turn number 1. It will be downhill braking zone, makes it a bit of a longer braking zone as well, but Springflower strong on the brakes and stays in front. Despite all that, keeps Gibe behind with relative ease.
And the McLaren Goldfest livery still going between these two. There is still that battle that's brewing up the front there, but I just don't. You just got a sneaking suspicion at the moment. Gibe's going to send one up the inside somewhere, or Springflower may make a little bit of mistake. But hopefully he's not mirror driving too much. Just got to focus on what's up the road there for him. This is when you see fantastic racing as well too. It's not credited enough, is it there, Ewan, of defensive driving, because usually in the highlight reels you only ever see the overtakes. You never see the amount of work that goes in to defend yourself from those overtakes from multiple laps on end.
And sometimes it's not the flashy defensive lines being taken, it's just a consistency, it's absorbing the pressure. And that's exactly what Springflower is doing at the moment, not making any mistakes, and that's why Gibe hasn't been able to get through on this occasion into the Schumacher S now. A little bit over the curves there on the inside, but to get away with that because Gibe missed the apex. So, yeah, this is good defending from Springflower. I think the only concern for him is going to be why people are catching up to him at the rate that they are at the moment, because he's seen a couple go past him in this race so far, and he's seen a couple catch up to him now in the last few moments as well. Biker Pilot and not Supra are not too far away either here, so that's going to be the concern as Nicoletta and Beaver battle their way into the final chicane as well. Still plenty of fights going on up and down the field.
And you've got to give it to Nick Beaver at the moment, the fastest man on the track. That's just Scott just Dickinson up the road there. But he is the biggest gainer, so he's up into P9. He's gained 9 positions, and he's looking at gaining another one right here, P8, if he can get past Nick.
And he do it into turn 1. Late on the brakes from Beaver. And it's going to be side by side between the two of them. Turn 1, your big overtaking opportunity on that run downhill. Round the outside through the second part. And this is what makes the first part of the lap so good for racing compared to the rest. Got this Mercedes arena section for the two to fight it out through. And Beaver on the inside of 4 is surely going to get the place here. Unless Nicoletta can stay there. He keeps the overlap. This is a great bit of racing between the two of them. And Nicoletta will try and use it on the inside of 6. Still side by side, still door to door. He's going to break a little bit earlier, Nicoletta, and he's going to try and come back again. That was well done between the two. Good racing, good respect shown, and Beaver is finally through.
That is textbooks 101 on how to fight. Around, you've got to go around the outside. You've got to go off the racing line. It will switch back. You've got to commit to the corners. You've just got to hope that the car's going to stick. And brilliant drive. It's Nick Beaver. It says it on his car windscreen. And he certainly is the biggest gainer here tonight. 10 positions gained up at a P8. Absolutely.
Be wondering what he could have achieved maybe with a bit of a better qualifying performance, but his biggest mover forward so far, and he will take that. This is Zach on the back of Gibe, who was right in behind and still is behind Springflower. Seemed to pick up an off track on this lap earlier on in the lap. Clearly wasn't that bad because he's still there in front, and now Gibe's got a very good run coming out of turn 12. Surely there's going to be a decent chance now as they come into the chicane. He has a look left, and will he go? No. Well, he had a look. He weaved around left and right. He had a look, but he didn't go for it, and maybe just as well, it would have been a bit of a lunge from there.
Day late and $1 short it would have been, wouldn't it have, if we would have gave for it. Speaking of somebody taking a lunge at the back there, we got Sassy up 3 places. That's because he's got Tigish, isn't it, who made that little mistake that we saw earlier on lap 2. And he's out of position, 13 positions down at the moment. And he has those gaggle of cars behind him of Sassy, Husha Dallas there, Jace Meyer. all wanting to get past. But you'd imagine once he's back up to full speed, he should be in the racing pace that he had during qualifying.
Yep, you'd expect so, unless there is any damage from that small bit of contact, which I wouldn't imagine there is. That was close. Springflower very nearly getting rear-ended by GB, who's now on a different line, coming through turn 4, and will not get the run on the way through turn 4 this time round. So this looks like it's going to continue, and this is where the frustration at the Nurburgring does come into it. And this is in one of our pre-race notes as well. The GT3 has had a bit of a revamp this season. The draft is not so strong really in these GT3s compared to the cars we had last season, the GTPs and the F4 car, the F3 car. Sorry, I think I said F4 earlier, didn't I? The F3 car that we had. So, how difficult is it going to be to overtake? On some of the evidence so far, it's been a little bit on the trickier side.
And on top of, when are we expecting the splash and dash of a little bit of fuel? That was mentioned out there. A couple of unknown factors for us up here in the booth, of course, and maybe perhaps in the chat there. We know that. Thank you very much for the chat. A lot of people out there watching. We appreciate it. Give us a like and subscribe as well. And please give us your information. It might even have some spotters out there too. That might be spotting their mates, family members, and all sorts of jazz out here this evening. And this is the battle still between the Prince and the Captain. And the battle, as you can see in the pictures, P4.
We've definitely got a couple of people who are drivers in this series watching along. Eat Dust and Spooked Ups, who are both going to be drivers later on this season, which is great to hear. Just not tonight, unfortunately. Over the course of the next 2 months and 1 week, there's going to be plenty of racing coming your way here on a Wednesday night. 10 rounds of this series this season, running right the way to the end of September. No interruptions either. So we're here weekly until the end of September. I'll get back to that. Captain CK goes around. None of him moves into the top 5, and that's a nice pirouette, actually. Captain back onto the straight and narrow, but down to 6th place.
Yeah, the Captain was almost taking us in for a crash landing then, didn't it? But he managed to rescue it for a full spin, and we caught that live on board. There was no commentator's curse, as you wanted to say. It's just a commentator's coincidence. But he only just dropped a place to his teammate there, his countryman, actually, of Noddy. And I don't think he was the only one that just, it looks like paper bag's gone off somewhere too. He's going to reverse back off the racing line. He's not going to get the crew to tow it. They're back. But that's what happens.
Not turning well. Is there suspension damage there, or is that just a bad turning circle at low speed? No, it's just...
Well, this is what happens when you get a paper bag in a GT3 car.
See what happens. Just over the curb and a spin.
Yeah.
Good avoidance actually from the Porsche driver, just in the background, but yeah. Imagine the handle and all sorts caught on the steering wheel in there. Nightmare.
Yeah, we'll go back to the not a Supra 86 at least. Belize is where the driver's from. That's the Belizean flag.
I would love to know if that's true, by the way.
Oh,
if he's actually... Oh, no!
He's on
Not a Supra goes around! Just as I was saying that, distracted, perhaps, by my comments about nationality, spins around on the curbs through the final chicane and does a very safe job of rejoining. Overly safe, I would argue. And lets Ryan Schwab and Tigges straight through. Drops to 20th, which is higher than where they started, at least, but... nevertheless, yeah, I'd be very interested to hear more about Belize. That's what I want to talk about.
Yeah, my ex-girlfriend's actually living there. So, English speaking. She can speak Spanish and all that sort of stuff anyway. It's Latin America.
Is it English speaking?
It is English speaking in Belize, yes.
Oh, I never knew that.
Not one of the many, not many English speaking countries are in Latin America. In fact, probably the only one, actually, come to think of it. But it's beautiful, I hear. Never visited there.
I'm learning all sorts. Oh, right, yeah, colonialism. I should have known. I've just Googled it. Anyway, crossing over that slightly. GB still on the back of Springflower. Battle for 12th place. Springflower starting to put a bit of distance, actually, there, or just was, anyway, through the hairpin. So just with that little bit of breathing space there. Again, he takes a strange line, doesn't he, GB, through that Schumacher-esque, but it just seemed to work. Then in towards turn 11, both late on the brakes. They both seem to be keeping Albanese in check here in that 11th place, but not quite catching for the moment. And that's a good run for the Ferrari coming out of turn 12. And there's going to be a chance now into the hairpin, surely. Into the slipstream. There's going to be late on the brakes, maybe. It's going to be a lunge. Are we going to see it? No. I was thinking whether that just built up frustration would finally send eBay down the inside, but not this time.
Yeah, the Ferrari looking at trying to do that last-minute lunge. He decided not to. It was going to be way too far back. He realizes I still have plenty of time to go here. There's no point in throwing this race away just yet, as Dixon sets an even faster lap. He's now got a 4.5 second gap up the road there to Joshua Spears.
And the hill into the first corner again. Personal best all round here as the fuel load starts to come off and the tyres are going to be in the best shape. This will be where the best laps of the race are set, I would imagine, unless there is a real dip in the temperatures late in the afternoon. Although I wouldn't expect there to be, because it's only going to be just past 4 p.m. in Sim when the race finishes. That shouldn't be too much of a factor on the 16th of July, which it is today. So, well, not for us, but for the Americans it still is. Yes, it's not going to dip too much from those 31 degrees, and in any case it's not a huge track temperature anyway, as Biker Pilot gets himself in front of Mayer and Wallace just in the background for 15th place. So many interesting battles for us to hop around at the moment.
I honestly
that has been the case for the first 20 minutes.
You look at Biker Pilot and from a distance you go, is it America? He's got to be United States, from the United States, right? Because look at all that. But it's not. He's Canadian, as you can see. But he's got stars and stripes and all that sort of stuff over. But you look at the front of the car, of course, he's got, there it is. He's got the old Canadian flag. Maybe he's dual nationality.
Maybe, yeah.
He's got a bit of best of both worlds over in North America there at the moment.
Yeah. He's teammates with Omega, actually. So I wonder whether that's it, because Omega's American. As Beaver goes down the inside of Corndog, and that's a good move. A very good move from Beaver. Decisive into 7th place, and he's moving on up forward. I think that's a team livery that they both got on to reflect the fact that it's a Canadian and American. Although, where is Omega? He's just a bit further down the field. In 20. There you go. Oh, there's Biker Pilot again, as Meyer gets right in behind him in the Mustang.
Yeah, you might be right on that one. That's just a split down the mud there. They'll be sharing that car pass for endurance racing and stuff like that as well. Teammates, but as you just saw before too, Nick Beaver, biggest gainer up there, 11 positions to P7. Let's see whether or not he's got enough time on his side to try to hunt down the racing leader. He's currently, you'd have to say, about 6 seconds off the racing leader, so you never know. Quite possible. But if they nail those pit stops and also fuel saving.
In the background, Schwab is going to go for a move on Chigish by the looks of things. No, into turn 1. That was pretty close, but no. Not this time round. Ryan Schwab applying the pressure there in the orangish Porsche. Bit of a nod to the Rexy Porsche in real life. You can see the teeth on the front of that car. Just having another look down the inside, down in towards turn number 3 at that time around. I'm not sure who Schwab is actually teammates with this season. I've got the list of teams in front of me, but I can't find Ryan. So that'll have to wait. I think he might be alongside Pebble, maybe, who's a bit further down the field at the moment in 29th, but I could be wrong on that, to be honest. Meanwhile, this is close. Springflower under pressure from G-Bay down into 11. Goodness me, that's close again, but Springflower again does a good job of defending and keeps 12th place.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be over just yet, isn't it? As you said, but maybe that frustration might be creeping in, and this is also continuing at the back here with Black Bob Wallace into the mixer of Dylan Meyer and Biker Pilot. So that's where it's the hot zone that you could be throwing your electric blanket over there if you're in Australia, where it's a little chillier than what it is over in your neck of the woods. That's really from about 10th, 11th on downwards. You got these little 3 packs forming.
And maybe about to be one for 11th as well, as Gio Albanese is being caught there in 11th. Just a second or so between himself and Springflower. Say 3-car battle here for 15th as well. Biker Pilot just in front. They absolutely match each other on lap times there. Unsurprising, since they've been running so close. It's hard for anybody to really make a difference. Down in towards turn 1 again, and they don't. So end of lap 13 coming up at the end of this one, by the way. The pit window will be open at the end of the next lap for all these drivers, and over the course of 4 laps or so we should see all of the drivers cycle through a pit stop, which they'll need to do to get the fuel to go to the end of the race.
Also running a couple of moonshine runs in the background, and they'll chuck that in the car, and they say, that'd be perfectly fine. We'll get on with it.
I'm enjoying Dylan Moe's
sending
team
it.
name,
That's
by
a
the way.
Ewan.
Wow,
I didn't think he could make it stop
Oh,
there.
no.
Wow. Springflower will
Didn't
not be
stop
happy
that,
with
did he?
that. Yeah.
No, I think he's got a right to be pretty unpleased about it as well, Springflower, because GP barely made the corner himself there, coming into the hairpin, and that put Springflower certainly into the gravel. Something maybe to look at after the race, or maybe it'll be redressed on the circuit as Prince Adam and Notovin go toe-to-toe down into the chicane. Notovin is growing into this race as it goes along. Started off sort of slowly, if you like, in terms of speed, gained a place off the start, but couldn't stay with the leaders. Now he's right on the back of Prince Adam for 4th.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what you were saying happens, isn't it? When you're following a driver for so long, you just get a little bit of frustration creeps in, isn't it? And that's exactly what it looked like the situation with G-Bay there. He was getting frustrated. He couldn't get past Springflower, and then just said that late send in there and just said, argy-bargy my way past you, mate. And so a little bit of etiquette of code of gentleman's driving may have been breached there.
Perhaps, yes. We'll see whether Notovin's going to just leave this now until the pit stops to figure this one out, or whether he still wants to do it on the actual racetrack itself, as they now get on the brakes down for the chicane at turn 6 and 7. That's a nicer line from Notovin. Wide entry, late apex. God, could have done without clipping that curb though on the right hand side. Quite a steep curve on the inside there, a bit Nordschleife-esque, and you don't really need to touch it quite like that. Same goes for the inside curb here at the hairpin as well, unless you clip it very late, but both of them just miss it. And this you can see, because we're at the front of the field as well, you can just see some of the lines they're taking just looks a little bit quicker as well. The standard obviously at the front of the field very, very high. Obviously that goes away as you go down the field, but this is some good driving between these two, a good fight, and Notovin struggling to find his way past, and he'll struggle out there as well.
Yeah, I don't know if you get into the dirty air, if it really just chucks your car around a little bit. That's one for the drivers to know. We did have Dylan Meyer go off track somewhere. He's in pit road right now. A couple of drivers have gone into pit road, but this may have explained the reason as to what's happened here. Oh, that's a big snap on the exit, wasn't it?
Yeah, violent snap. Oh, and trying to work out his spec. Look at this. Goodness me.
I don't
think I've seen a Mustang snap like that before.
Yeah.
That was really violent.
And he had to tow that one, I believe, because there's your pit lane entrance, unless he managed to drive it all the way back around. But that would be getting close. No, that's a tow. He's just past the entrance, and he's still sitting in pit road at the moment for at least a minute 20 so far. Going back to our Belizean driver.
Down into the braking zone, the chicane. I really want to find out more about Belize, but anyway.
Oh, the spin on the exit.
Oh dear. Bob's got off. And every time I talk about Belize, somebody goes off. Yeah. So maybe I can control the field in a very easy way here. And he's surely going to pit now. No, I would have cut my losses there, to be honest, if I was Ryan Schwab and just going to pit lane on the inside line. But clearly not. He decides to carry on. He a little bit on the outside curb, but just spun round on the exit there.
There's a little doggy on the side there as well too. Just has to wait there for the team garlic. I wanted to ask a question as to why who was the one that come up with putting that the shark teeth livery like they used to do obviously in the old World War II planes as well too. But who decided to put that on the Porsche? Who started that whole thing?
I don't know where the origin story of that is, but there's a car in real life that has the teeth on the front, races in IMSA in America. And it's become very popular over the last 2 or 3 years, and it's been replicated quite nicely by Ryan there in the Porsche. But I must admit, I do not know the origin story of that. If anybody does, then let us know. I don't know where it came from, though.
Wait, we got
where the idea came from.
Ewan doesn't know something. So we're walking Wikipedia.
Oh, that's quite common.
No, that's good. All right, we have Joshua heading into pit road at the moment from P2. So this is about what you expect. Just want to see whether or not Wallace is going to send one up the inside for the 666 machine, running 6 positions up as well too, and he's into 16th spot. So make that a quadruple 6.
Yeah, we are going to start to see them trickle in now. Nobody came in after lap 14, actually, at the very start of the window, but 15 is the number. If you want to keep it halfway, then you want to be in right now. Now, does anybody go up on the jacks here? It doesn't look like anybody is, so they're just splitting it down the middle. You wouldn't have time for all 4, and because you don't have time for all 4, you're not going to change any. I mean, nowadays, because of the cold tyres, it goes for GTP and LMP2 and GT3 now as well. If you're going to change tyres, you've got to do either all of them or none of them, because otherwise you'll come out with some very unbalanced tyres, and the cold tyres effectively will just spin your car around in a variety of ways, which is not particularly ideal. So, yeah, you've got to take all 4, only they don't have time to do that with the amount of fuel that they'll be taking on here, which is just less than half of their full tanks, and just a little bit less, not quite, about 90% or so of the tank that they actually have available here, which is 55% of the usual GT3 tank they've got available to them.
Tell you what, I'll send a couple of crew down there with some tyre warmers and some tyre blankets to check on those tyres so that they will come out at operating temperature for these drivers. How's that sound?
That would be illegal.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So that's the reason why they don't have the opportunity to do it like they do in Formula 1. They won't come out all nice and cozy and warm and ready to spin up. I don't know, they will be as cold as an Australian winter day at the moment.
You're really suffering.
It's actually hot. I'm actually hot at the moment, but it gets a little chilly.
Oh,
you know, us Australians, if it's not 30 degrees, it's cold.
Moaning. Yeah. Well, don't come over here. That's all I can say. It's a good job we've got people watching who are smarter than me, because we've got answers to where the teeth on the front of came from. From Spook Dubs, so thank you to him for this. Says the owner of AO Racing, who run that Rexy Porsche in real life, his daughter likes dinosaurs, so that's where the theme came from. It's quite nice.
Nice. Yeah, who doesn't like dinosaurs? I mean, unless they're
people over
real
the age
in your backyard. Yes.
Well, yeah, that is true. That would be less fun. We'll keep it on the Porsche for now, but maybe less Jurassic Park style situations if possible. Zach and Albanese both into the pit lane meantime, and those are normal pit stops. Lap 17 coming up right now, by the way. That was what we were told to be the limit in terms of fuel, so it could be quite a busy pit lane coming up in a few moments' time.
Yeah, a couple more drivers you can see on your timing ticker going in. Just wondering when this man that we haven't really seen too much, and there he is leading the race. Old Dickinson doing a splendid job, 10 seconds up the road. Not going to be enough to come in and out and still resume the lead, but all those other drivers that are below him currently at the moment, every driver inside the top 10 is yet to make a pit stop there, Ewan.
Yep. Yeah, we're still waiting on quite a lot of these drivers to come in. As you say, Joshua Spears, the first of them on the road. He's 11th, and there's the detail on the left-hand side. Dickinson comes in, and that suggests to me that everybody's going to be in here. He won't have... Well, maybe some of the other further down have been saving a bit more fuel, because, after all, Dickinson's not been in traffic at all. So he can't have saved any fuel. His paper bag just comes out in front of him, by the way, on the pit exit. There is the crashed Mustang on the right-hand side, still getting some repairs. Dickinson now pulls to the inside, and Simply Steve carries on for another lap. Into the box, though. No tyres to be changed. Dickinson will just get a little bit more fuel and make it home in the next 27 minutes.
He's going to jump out of the car there, grab the gas handle there, chuck it in the car. Do it all yourself. Seems like a longish pit stop, isn't it? He's going to get ready to get going. You can hear the revs, and bingo. He just has to avoid the iRacing pace car, back out, and he should slot out ahead of Corn Dog. This is coming to pit road. Yes, he is. So there he is. He'll come back out in P5. But those other drivers you can see on the tower, They have to head down. When can they head down? Who knows? But who will be in the position of second and third heading down the pit road between these two?
Well, it's unclear at the moment, and with pit stops so close, I would almost advise not to do this at the moment with Prince Adam. Or indeed, he should have pitted last lap, even though he had the fuel to go on for one more. Do something a little bit different here than Adam to try and get ahead of him here in the race. But that doesn't seem to have happened just for the moment. Through the right-hander now, and out the other side from the bottom of the hairpin, climbing up the hill towards the Schumacher S. And a little bit of a clip on the curves there from Notovin. He's followed Prince Adam the whole way round, and I guess now he's going to hope that his pit stop's a little bit shorter, but we'll see how that's going to happen. We will wait and see how he gets past Prince Adam, or indeed how he attempts to, because he's been stuck behind for a while now.
And that's one out there for the chat as well, too. Give us your predictions on the driver that can go the furthest on their tank of gasoline out of all the different manufacturers that we have here too. So all interesting to see. Ewan, what's your pick?
I don't know. I think they'll all be in, to be honest, this lap.
Yeah, okay. Speaking of,
Steve's in.
Steve's in.
Yeah, Adam and Notovin are both in as well. 4 different manufacturers as well, by the way, which suggests it was those drivers with soft feet who have got those cars home rather than any manufacturer particular advantage. But there we go, top 4 in. And indeed, the field now completed in terms of its pit stops. 18 laps was the maximum, it seemed, although you didn't necessarily need to make it all the way there. They all hit their marks, and now Notovin will see whether maybe a shorter pit stop can get him in front.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Do you use short fuel here to get track position? So Steve will come out. Prince Adam, Captain K, and Noddy. There we go. Captain K in a bit longer, isn't he? Interesting.
It was a couple of seconds behind before. Yeah. So, actually, I'll just run through the pit stop times, actually, and notice any outlying ones. Dickinson and Joshua Spears certainly had the longest. Dickinson with 21 and Joshua Spears 22 seconds. 18 seconds all round. Other than that, 20 for Corndog, 21 for Jason Winucki, 22 for for Joe Albanese, 22 seconds. On that one, and some noticeable long ones further down. Who's going to tell us 31 seconds in pit lane? That was a very long stop indeed, for whatever reason. But everybody should be able to make it to the end from here. As you can see on the left-hand side there, not too much difference in terms of pit stop times, and certainly not in those battles that we were watching and following either. Not really exchanged positions as a result of any of it.
Here comes the dinosaur attack at the moment of Ryan Swab there for the Team Garlic entrance. He's on the back there of the Omega.
So the Omega does have the other half of that livery, which is Canadian-American together. Well, I must admit the Canadian part isn't very Canadian red to me.
It's on this side of the car. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look very. I don't know. It doesn't look too Canadian to me, but anyway. And the USA red doesn't quite look right to me either, but there you go. It's their livery. Worked quite well. It's split down the middle. And so, that's that mystery explained before we had to get it explained to us by somebody else. As Sassy actually as well, joining in the McLaren.
Yeah.
It's joining at the back of this group now, 3-car group outside the top 20.
Did you see the Daddy's Daycare that's written on there of Ryan's car, which is obviously just mentioned out there in the chat. So I hope his daughter will be loving that. But she won't be loving it that much that he's down in 22nd place, 2 positions down on where he started the race. But doesn't have to tell your daughter that, do you? You go, hey, Daddy's out there, look, he's winning the race. And he's all fired up like a dinosaur. That's what that is.
Part of the
having fun.
I think it's part of the team name with himself and Pebble, who have teamed up this season.
Yeah,
both unfortunately outside the top 20 as things stand. There's Pebble in 26th, battling away with DC actually. Yeah. He's moving through on the outside line and down in towards the hairpin. He's going to have to brake pretty late round there. Not going to be able to get through this. Well, maybe spoke too soon. Yeah, he does get through. That was pretty impressive round the outside of the hairpin. It's a long way round there, but he's managed it.
Releasing the Kraken of the number 3 DC there, as it's got the Kraken sponsor on there, spiced rum I believe. Never had it. But obviously, it's got gives
I
you a
didn't
little
know
bit.
what that was.
Gives you a little bit of a kick, doesn't it? Because it just made him kick his way around Pebble for that 26th spot. He's still 3 positions down from where he started. The biggest mover, of course, is this man, Nick. And guess what? He's got 2 other drivers of Noddy and Prince up the road there to see if he can get himself 14 positions game and get P4.
He's been driving very, very well here, and who's to say he won't get these places, and maybe a top 4 side by side further behind. Meanwhile, as Jibe tries to get past Nicolator, gives space on the inside at turn 11 down there, and it's going to be close again through 12. He backs out of it in the Ferrari, and will have to come on the exit instead. Goes immediately to the right-hand side. The exit was good enough, but not quite to get alongside by the kink. It's really down into the chicane where you need it. Now he's looking to the inside. If he brakes late enough, he should have this on the inside, but no. Nicolate around the outside, gives it a very good effort there and stays in front, but he'll have another run before the final corner here, and he will have another look down the inside, this time at that final turn. Nicolator runs right round the outside, and he still keeps the place. They run door to door even over the line. Nicolator just getting the photo finished, but it's going to happen all the way down in towards turn number 1.
It's going to be fantastic racing. Lost the late breakers, turn 1, as you'd mentioned. Allowed the space. That's nice there. No trading paints just yet, mate, but there could be trading paints there. Oh, you've got to do your best to be defensive. I might have got the exit there now. I think so.
Finally, Jibe through. Yeah. Oh, dear. What was going on there?
That's
Bulldog, is that?
Cool. No, yeah. I'm sorry on that one, but we'll go back up to this battle because Jason's lurking in the background there as well, too.
Yeah, he's probably arrived now because of the 2 fighting in front of him. And thankfully, they didn't come to blows with that Audi that would spun, and that's an immediate mistake from Jibe. Nicolate is going to get his place back straight away here, down into the Dunlop curve. Seen side by side through here already. The slight camber helping Jibe on the outside, but he can't quite keep the overlap, can he? I don't think. And well, he's going to have to try it into the final corner. The Schumacher S rather, not able to do it there either. Manucci watches on from behind. They're all now in the top 10, by the way, as a result of that spin we just saw a moment ago.
Yeah, exactly. That spin was Condog you'd mentioned. Fantastic racing here at the moment. Further up at the field there, we do have Nick that's managed to get past Noddy in that. So Nicholas up now 13 places, and he's right on the back there of the Prince Adam. So we'll go over to that in a minute, pending these drivers. Now it's your time. G, you got the pictures, you're on the camera. I will have to switch it over, but because I think Nick's going to be setting a run here. And he will, up on the inside there of Noddy. Prince, actually. My apologies, that's the Prince on the inside. Nick on the outside. Gets really wide there, Ewan, but will that give him the exit power?
Still side by side. It's great for racing this Mercedes arena. And right around the outside, Prince Adam gets the place. Nodovin's going to try and win a place back as well from Beaver here, who's fighting his way through this group pretty quickly, but he is not getting no resistance by any means. Notovin around the outside briefly. Couldn't get through. Now again, he gets nose to tail, absolutely nose to tail here with Beaver just up in front. But Beaver's into the top 5, and you get the feeling the way he's going at the moment, Beaver's going to be in 4th place before that much longer as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. But then it's a little bit of a run up the road there because you've got Joshua Spears in that P3 position. He's, he's 8 seconds up the road, isn't he, from these drivers. So that'll be very, very interesting.
Nicolator and Jibe continue to run pretty close as well, further behind. There's, as I say, so much racing going on at the moment, but we're only just over 15 minutes rather away from the finish now. 60-minute race here, of course, in the J2ICS GT3 Sprint Series this season. Other than the 2 90-minute races, which are going to be fun to watch a little bit later as well. That was late on the brakes from Jibe. Very close to Nicolator again. They continue to fight for 8th. That's a look from Manucci as well, but that's from way too far back. Jibe still looking for this place.
Hunting. What's G going to do here? He sends the dummy, but It was a little bit too daylight dollar short on that one, but you can throw your other opponent off, of course. Fill their mirrors up full of a car, make them look at their mirrors whilst they're entering a exit into the corners, of course, under heavy braking zones, and it could force them into a mistake. So that's the reason why a lot of those drivers do that. You've got to think it's not going to work. You're not going to make that overtake from there. However, you can make them think that you could. And all it takes is a little lapse of concentration, and you can make an error. And forcing a driver into an error in psychological games. Here's a bit of door banging for you. It's Nick Beaver versus the Prince.
And he's surely going to be through here, but no, Prince Adam is giving this a very good go at the moment. They're doing their best to keep Beaver at bay, but not quite enough for the moment. He's going to get the run surely down the other hill towards the hairpin. Inside lines open, but he doesn't go for it. He decides to just leave it for the moment. Prince Adam keeps fourth place, not even next in line as well, but surely it's going to be Beaver through in any moment now. Just waiting for the moment. Beaver, 15 minutes to do this. Prince Adam has got a long time to defend from him here.
That's exactly right. You just got to be a little bit patient. Size up your opponent as well. So have a look at, you're studying them for a few laps, as Nick will be doing now, and see if any of those mistakes where he feels that the Prince is a little slow at, and that's when you get ready to pounce.
To the chicane.
Nixon
drops the second behind.
Yeah, Nick's literally in the love seat, my friend. That's the name of the team. He's in the hot seat, he's in the love seat.
That is alongside Captain CK this season, by the way. 5th and 7th at the moment. Decent start to the season for them, although must admit not quite as good at the moment for Sean Dickinson and Joshua Spears as well. We're 1st and 3rd for SimCity Racing. They're surely going to be leading the team's title at the end of round 1 anyway. They will be leading the way through the first corner. Beaver again gets closer. A good run out the first corner to again have a look at Prince Adam there for 4th position. Really probing at the moment is Beaver. But can he find a way past? He's still got time on his side to do this.
Fantastic racing out there. Thank you very much. It's Penny Dickinson at the moment. She'll be loving the fact that Dickinson's up leading this race by commanding 10 seconds as well too. I think he's got no problems whatsoever of getting this race win, pending that he just brings it home. Clearly the fastest man out on track when he wants to be as well too. Best time he's actually set during the race is 56.52. Nobody else, Ewan. Well, there's only one other driver, Joshua Spears, but that's the late 56s. So very, very quick. And no pressure at the moment to have to push it even quicker just yet. Maybe towards the dying stage of this race, I might put a couple of banking laps in just to secure his dominance of this race.
It's going to be Dickinson victory by the looks of it at the end of first round. And yeah, he's laid a real marker down here that this could be happening quite a lot over the course of the next 10 weeks as GB still tries to find his way past Nicoletta here for 8th place. Well, Nicky's next in line, then Corn Dog and Albanese not too far away as well. He might even get a 5-car battle to the very end here, but GB has been probing for a while now, still looking for a way past at the moment, still not able to. Very close there into turn 11.
Well, they'll be feeling those hot exhausts at the moment, aren't you? Oh, the Nicolator's number 5 machine. Good exit here. As you're going to need some Del Taco.
He's going to be through. eBay through without too much difficulty. Actually, in the end, was able to crowd Nicolator out of it. Unless he's got a very good run out the chicane, and he hasn't. eBay's going to be into 8th position. So that had to happen soon because there was going to be another 2 drivers joining in if not. Meanwhile, Beaver gives it another go now. He's on the inside of 2 and 3. On Prince Adam, he brakes late. He's got the line, and Beaver now finally is in 4th place.
There it is. Biggest gainer of the race. 14 positions up. And if he wants to get on the podium, it's got a bit of work to do now. He's got 10 seconds up the road there to try to hunt down Joshua Spears. So that's going to be very, very interesting. Is there going to be enough time, 10 minutes to go? I don't think so, because we have to be lapping at least a second and a half quicker than Joshua per lap. And then that's another thing just to catch, remember. And then you're going to have to allow yourself at least a handful of laps to try to get the overtake done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's pending, of
Certainly
course,
this
that Prince
circuit-
doesn't come back and retake that position, which he
Well,
very well do.
That's true. He is not far away here at the moment, is Prince Adam, so don't count him out just for the moment. But you get the feeling, given the overtaking difficulty that we've seen here today, as you just say, he's got to strike back very quickly here, unless, or otherwise rather, he's just going to get stuck. And, Beaver seems to be quicker than Prince Adam anyway, so he's going to be less stuck, but actually more just definitely behind here in 5th place. So he's got to strike back very quickly and not able to now down in towards that final chicane.
And the other big battle, because there's a battle back out 17th and 18th, another big gainer, of course, is Logan McKenzie in the 18th place there, looking on the back there of Tigish. But you got Simply Steve and Joshua as well, too. They are not too far between each other for the big battle for the second step on the podium here this evening. So as Joshua timed everything perfectly for his final dying attack in the last 10 minutes of this race.
And maybe he's looking to make it a 1-2 for SimCity Racing in the final 10 minutes, if at all possible. But Steve has shown some good speed, as he was increasingly doing so, actually, in the latter portion of last season. He was one of the ones to watch at the start of the day, and is proving that right now as well. Meanwhile, here is Biker Pilot versus Tigges, and he was the man we were riding on board with was spun through turn 4 earlier on, don't forget, and had a bit of an incident getting back onto the track. So it's a good recovery, even if it was only 16th position here that he's fighting for.
Yeah, I don't think after his qualifying performance he would have been thinking he would be battling down in P17, but it's good to see that you commit to the rest of the race anyway, because what else would you have been doing here for your Wednesday night? Anyway, different racing line coming through there at the moment, isn't it? But just probably trying to throw Biker Pilot off a little bit with the switcheroos. Over and under.
Ooh, close. Into turn 3, it's always the thing. It gets very wide there, but there's a very narrow racing line on the very inside of turn 3. And they just cut across the nose there in the Porsche. Just had about enough space to do it. And so gets away with it. And it's one of the few battles that we've got to the conclusion of this race. Final 10 minutes now, and Joshua Spears continues to apply the pressure to Simply Steve just up in front of him right now. It is very, very close between these two, but can the Mustang find its way past? It'll be a SimCity Racing and Ford Mustang 1-2 if Joshua Spears can just make this move down into turn 1. You can see that Steve's thinking about what's going on behind him, because he just took a bit of a different line there, but no move made that time round, 5 laps to go.
Well, you kind of almost a bit of contact, isn't it? Just a little bit of a bump there to remind Steve that Joshua's here. Remember, these drivers switcherooed this, so Steve started in that P3 position, currently running in P2. Joshua started it in that P2, currently wants it back. But I don't think Simply Steve's going to be simply allowing him to get the overtake done. He's going to put a nice fight up for this.
No. He is going to fight for this one, that's for sure. They've got 10 seconds either side, so it's not like they were going to collaborate to catch Dickinson. It's not like they're going to be caught by Beaver, even just by his speed, although Dickinson's just been off the circuit for a while there. Just wonder if he maybe just ran wide through the hairpin. Nothing too major, really. Joshua Spears again gets close, looks for that late apex. He's got a decent run out of there. If he can get a good run through the Schumacher S, there's a half chance at turn 11 if he can muster it here. It is a pretty good run. Very good, in fact. They're pushing the limit now. He's just not quite close enough, I don't think, Spears this time round. Steve stays in front.
Yeah, you're right. Dixon just dropped a little bit of time there, as he had just over a 10-second gap. But he's got that still about 9.4. So just keep it cool and steady and bring it home. It's his race to win. It's also his race to lose at this point if he makes a mistake. I know Penny out there will be certainly hoping he will not. And he's probably very glad it's clear these two battling. Go ahead.
It's a good run. Inside line, final corner. Not close enough. And Steve did a very smart thing there. Gave him space initially there, but actually just pulled it back for a late apex in the end, taking the racing line. He did, two things really. Achieved two things by doing that. First, giving space to Spears if he did decide to go down the inside, but most importantly, perhaps, getting that good run off of the final corner onto the front straight. And that meant he was safe down in towards turn 1, and Steve survives another lap.
And then Steve will be sitting there counting those laps, clicking over as well too. holding off that attack there from Joshua. There's a spinner actually in front of them, isn't it? I think that was Paper Bag. Yes, it was. Very lucky.
Oh!
That Paper Bag didn't have that spin maybe a few seconds earlier. There it is. And there they go. Very lucky he's off the racing line there. That could have been a whole different ball game on that one, my friend.
And it could have been for those oncoming as well, because he reversed straight onto the racing line there and was thankfully not collected, but that could have been a lot worse. Springflower, unfortunately, has dropped to 14th now after all his valiant defending earlier on in the day. He's trying to win some of those places back, though. Zach, the first of them. Oh, and he breaks quite late. He's giving some other people a taste of their medicine now as he does a bit of a block pass towards turn 1. Springflower was kind of block pass down in towards the hairpin earlier on, the Dunlop curve, so he's repaying the favour. Here comes Logan McKinsey down the inside of Biker Pilot, and that's 17th place for the driver who started from pit lane.
With the Buckies as well too, if I'm not mistaken. It is Buckies. That's an American thing. And the Prince hasn't given up on this position with Nick as well too. Still keeping him in the love seat of Nick Beaver's number 10 machine there. So that ain't over yet. That battle, of course, still between Joshua and Steve is there, but that's at half a second, as you can see on the tower. What do we reckon? We've got about 1 or 2 more laps at best in this race.
It will be 3, I think. We'll just squeeze 3 in because the pace has been just below 2 minutes average per lap. So yeah, they will squeeze an extra 1 in. Even though it is just about 2 minutes per lap, we will get 31st lap in a few moments' time. Beaver still in front here of Prince Adam, who I get the feeling is maybe being towed along a little bit here, because Notovin can't keep up. He's not in the tow, though, and he's not following that Acura as well. I think Adam's probably learning a few things by riding around behind Beaver, who, as we've mentioned time and again here today, has done a very good job, up 14 places. And he'll be wondering a little bit what he could have done had he qualified in some position like this.
Yeah. It's not NASCAR, where qualifying is not as important. Obviously, in road racing, it is. And he's going to be aware of that at the end of the day. If he comes home here and manages to hold on to P4, we'll be like, well, we'll be bringing it to Dickinson up there. And I think, is it Josh? Penny was saying go Josh. So I presume it might be Josh Dickinson. I'm sure Penny can confirm that one out there.
No, it's Sean Dickinson and Josh Spears.
Sorry. There it is, thank you. Yeah.
So,
all right, Sean,
there
you go. In the lead of this run by 9.5 seconds. Got a bit of clear air, a bit of traffic to navigate through, but it should not be too much of an issue. Corn Dog, but he's wanting to get Nicoletta. Just try to steal that 9th position there, just at the top 10. There's Zach.
Yeah, he spun, don't forget, just in front of, I think, GP and Nicoletta when they were fighting. Now he's only able to retake one of them here. Nicoletta, who is now down to 9th. Oh, and that's a spin through the final corner. That's Paper Bag, I think. Not the final corner, sorry. The bottom of the hill, rather.
Yeah.
At the Dunlop hairpin, the Dunlop curve, and he gets back on the circuit. Meanwhile, Tigger is trying to get past McKinsey and somewhat the other way around. McKinsey trying to equal Beaver's tally for the most positions gained, and there it is, 14 for Logan McKinsey, who, as I say, started from the pit lane and has done great progress since.
This is interesting now, whether or not Joshua has anything left to attack Simply Steve with in the dying stage of this race.
Can he do anything? We've not really seen any signs that he's really getting close here in these last few moments, which is really the concerning thing, I think, or Joshua Spears as he tries to challenge Steve right now. Yeah, that's pretty concerning. Into the right-hander and down now the front straight for Corn Dog. Yeah, this is a good chance to get ahead of Albanese into the top 10 again. So he's been overtaken, and Albanese holds on to that top 10 place.
Yeah. Absolutely, so that's a nice little battle there, but we'll have to go back up to the top of the timesheets between these two. I'm loving the liveries, actually, from these drivers. You're going to see this season, these teams, so forth as well.
Yeah, looking good out there, especially like Steve's, I say.
I know, you could look at the car 100 times and see something different, couldn't you, each time?
Yeah.
So it's a blend of a mixture. That's like something you go to an art dealer and go, hey, I would like this piece to hang in my living room.
Yeah. So it's a bit of an art car, isn't it? It's part of the Speed Squad team, who Eatmadust is going to be on later on this season. That's a massive wallop on the curve there from the Mustang, but he's got a good run as a result. As long as he hasn't got a slow down there, he has a look. And he might have got a slow down. He really broke there very hard for the final corner. I think he has got a slow down. That's why he got so close. He really walloped those curves to Joshua Spears, gave it everything. I think that might be it now for the battle for second.
Yeah, it's a lot to catch up now, isn't it? Tony, he'd be relying on simply Steve to make a mistake, and I don't think he's going to be doing that. He's been holding off that massive attack for some laps right now, as Joe's going to try to fake. There's somebody completely getting off the track there at the moment, being a lap down, no doubt. Doesn't want to get in part of this nice little battle that's brewing here, to see whether or not it's going to maintain themselves inside that top 10. Can Corndog hold on? Or can Joe send it? Joe's going to say, I'm going to send it. I'm going to give it a shot. That will scrub your speed on the exit here, out of the Schumacher S's.
I don't think he intended to do that, actually. When he started braking, they were both on the racing line. He almost pulled out of the line to avoid, and had to go down the inside of Corndog. Now, over the start-finish line, Joe Albanese close in, has a look outside line, brakes late-ish, but no chance to go through on this occasion. And he stays 11th. He'll try and win that top 10 back again here on this last lap, but Sean Dickinson's not that far away now from the midpoint in the lap, and the final sector indeed, where he's going to get to the end of and take a victory. Behind, his teammate Joshua Spears hasn't quite been able to make it a 1-2 for SimCity Racing, but it's a very good point total to begin with, and a very good start to the season for Sean Dickinson, who, as expected, has been very, very fast here tonight at the Nurburgring. Into the final chicane. A monster over those curves, just as he has on every single occasion. He's got it inch perfect once again. After just over an hour of racing, he's going to win the first round in the Parabolic Companies J2ICS GT3 Sprint Championship here from the Nurburgring. It's Dickinson who wins, flashes the lights, and he'll be very, very pleased with that. Steve in the background holds on for second rather nicely as well.
Yeah, Joshua tried to attack him late, but couldn't quite get it. Now the biggest gainer, the second biggest gainer in this race, of course, but the biggest gainer inside the top 10. The hot seat driver there, Nick, will finish in that P4 position. Further back with Prince Adam there, and then we got the Canadian duo as well too, of Noddy and Captain K in the 6th and 7th place. Then you have to go a little bit further back to the G, who was in the wars earlier too. 23 seconds actually back to G. This is going to lonely make his way around P8. 7 positions gained.
Albanese and Corndog are going to be quite close to the line, but doesn't. Well, maybe. Oh no! He's just thrown everything at it there, Corndog. He just goes off the road though. He threw everything at that. He couldn't quite get past Albanese though for a top 10. What about McKinsey? Can he get 15 places ahead of Blackbird Wallace maybe? Who is? And he can. Logan McKinsey down the inside. He's got it. There's a bit of damage as he scrapes through into the top 15. But Logan McKinsey is going to get the unofficial award for most positions gained of anybody. He starts the race from the pit lane. He will end it 15 places further forward, and we'll wonder forever where he would have been if he'd have qualified, because he's clearly got the speed. There you go. End of the day, up 15. Logan McKinsey gains the most places of anybody.
Yeah, another driver as well too will be wondering what if qualifying was done a little bit better. They're not a Supra. Police driver there, 20th place there at Ryan for the Team Garlic, as you can see there with the dinosaur-esque nose. Will come home 1 place down before he started the race on 21st. And then the Sassy, who's just blinking in and out, bring it home, my friend. The Sassy will finish it up there. Jace Meyer had a few little moments there for the Rabbit Racing. Pebble as well, the teammate. Pebble Bag, we saw go around quite a few times, finishing in that one. But that's about it. I think they've all crossed the line there.
I think they have indeed, and we can show you the race results at the end of that hour of racing here tonight from the opening round of the GT3 series here from the Nurburgring. And it's Dickinson who takes the victory in the end by about 8 seconds ahead of Simply Steve, who held off Joshua Spears for that second place. Nick Beaver gains 14 places to get up to 4th, the latest of them ahead of Prince Adam. Notovin and Captain CK were the first non-Americans in 6th and 7th, ahead of Jibe, who fought past Nicoletta and Joe Albanese towards the end. Albanese holding off Corndog, by the way, for a top 10 there. Jason Manuki finished 12th ahead of Springflower Zach and Logan McKenzie, who gained the most places of anybody in that race. Papa Wallace just dropped out the side, the top 15 at the very end there, as we saw, with Tigges next in line. Biker Pilot, Justin Wiley and Not a Super rounded out the top 20, with Ryan Schwab and Sassy on the last on the lead lap. Huzia Dallas was one down, along with Yo Omega and Jace Meyer rounding out the top 25 rather. Then it was DC, who was 26th. He was the Porsche we saw off the road, by the way, staying out the way of everybody down the hill. Pebble, Paperbag and McMurk were able to do most of the laps of the race. Dylan Meyer retired in the first half of the race, and Bob Nova retired pretty early as well. James McKinney, unfortunately, didn't race, although he did do some of practice. Let's have a chat now to Sean Dickinson, who has taken the first race victory of the season. And Sean, congratulations on the win here at the Nurburgring. It looked pretty comfortable from where we were sat. How was it for you?
Yeah, it was pretty comfortable as well from my point of view. I was able to get my brakes dialed in, and then Josh helped me out with the setup. So, yeah, I was able to pick it up and kind of run away from the crowd.
There's a sense of inevitability from some of the other guys we had in YouTube who are not racing here today but chatting along with us and watching tonight, that you might be able to do this quite a few occasions this season. What's your view on that? Is that the aim to... Well, it's always the aim to win every race, of course, but how realistic is it that this could happen again this season?
It's pretty realistic. There's a lot of guys I work with in here, and I kind of coach them, help them out, give people setups, all that kind of stuff. There are some tracks I'm not great at, and will definitely be they'll be showcased because it'll be a really good battle. But this one is one of my favorite tracks, so I felt like this one was pretty inevitable. But yeah, that won't be the case in every race this season, but we should be competitive.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to seeing it in the future, of course. But for now, Sean, thanks very much for coming to have a chat with us at the end of tonight's racing, and congratulations on taking the race victory.
Yeah, thank you. Got to give a quick shout out to SimCity Racing. Those are great guys over there. That's my team, and then Josh for all the help, and my mom in the chat. I'm sure you guys heard quite a few comments from her.
Absolutely, yeah, cheering you on, and
thank
of course Josh as well. So yeah, a big thanks for all of that as well. But yeah, thanks for chatting to us, Sean. We'll see you next week.
Yep, have a good one. See you.
Thanks very much. That's Sean Dickinson, the winner here tonight from the Nurburgring. Simply Steve finished in second place here tonight, just ahead of Joshua Spears. And congratulations, Steve, on that second place finish. It wasn't likely at all occasions here tonight. You qualified third, had to fight your way past a couple of drivers here and there throughout, but holding off Joshua Spears to the line as well. Tell us about that late battle there as you had the Mustang filling your mirrors.
Yeah, I mean, it was great racing with Josh. I mean, we kind of started the race working together, trying to build a gap, and so we could race later. And yeah, I mean, I think I was super lucky to have my teammate in my ear as a crew chief tonight. And he was running the math, doing the numbers, and it's really helpful to have someone in your corner doing that math so you can focus on the driving. So, yeah, I mean, it was close the whole time. It's tough to pass here. The draft is definitely not huge, so you don't get a huge advantage just being in the draft. So I just kind of tried to keep the tires alive because I knew the tires would fall off towards the end. So yeah, just kind of keep it smooth and steady and keep them behind as best I could. So
just one quick word on the livery, by the way. It's certainly one of our favourites that we've spotted out this season, or this round rather. I know that you were running without your teammate this time round, but tell us if there's any story behind the livery, how it's come about, how it's been made, because it does look very nice out there on the circuit.
Yeah, I mean, my teammate has done the past two now, so he's becoming the livery person now on the team, But no, we have this popsicle. I'm not totally sure all the story behind it. I think my teammate will have to get up to the podium to tell the stories. But yeah, we had this like popsicle with all the different colors, and we had some ideas on just how to get there. And I can't speak to it because I didn't do it. But yeah, I try to slap on some sponsors from some real life racing that my teammate does. So yeah, I don't know, just try to keep the theme, but pick something like a different portrayal of the same like color scheme. So
It looks very good out there on the circuit. And one last thing as well, just quickly before we let you go, from a admin point of view, you must be very pleased with the way this opening round has gone. Huge field to begin with here at the Nurburgring. Hopefully, obviously, we'll keep it all the way through to the end. But you must be very pleased with the way the season started.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully everyone had a great race. It's hard to, I mean, I'm just a driver when I'm on the track here, but I hope everyone had a great race, and I'm happy. Yeah, super happy with the turnout, and yeah, hopefully everyone enjoys these set of cars, the format, and yeah, I mean, I guess use this platform if anyone has any feedback. Feel free to lob it back to the admins. We're always open to it. So.
All right, well, thanks for chatting to us as always, Steve, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Congrats on the podium here tonight.
Thank you so much. Hopefully be back next week.
Absolutely. That's Simply Steve in second place here tonight. Just ahead of Joshua Spears, who was battling with towards the end there as well. Welcome in, Josh. Good to have you with us. A podium to start off with, a double podium for the team, which we'll get to in a moment. But tell us, first of all, what it was like being stuck behind that McLaren in those final few laps.
Oh, it was such a disappointment because I took too much fuel. I took an extra lap. So that's actually what allowed him to get in front of me. So I was in the pit for like 3 extra seconds, I saw. But other than that, it was a fun battle. Steve was a great component, or a great competitor today.
Yeah, it was maybe the pit stops where it all changed for you, but it's still a 1-3 for the team. As I say, the SimCity Racing team will be flying to the top of the team standings at the end of the first race, as meaningful as that can be after just one race. How is it to be in a team with a double podium here in the first round of the season, starting it off right?
Honestly, it's great. I thank Sean for helping me with setup and honestly helping with my pedals to be able to get that extra pace right now. I just got a new set of pedals, so I'm just kind of getting used to them now.
Well, congratulations on a podium, and thanks very much for coming to have a chat with us at the end, Josh. We'll hopefully see you next week.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much. That is Joshua Spears, who finishes in third in this first race of the season. Well, it's a good way to start the season here, Biggles. I've got to say, racing at the Nurburgring sometimes can be quite difficult, I seem to find, but I quite enjoyed that tonight. There was plenty going on up and down the field, and a good race to start us off this season.
Of course, and if it's a sign of things to come, this is going to be an absolute cracker of a season, because, battles throughout the whole field. Always love that. I mean, it's always great for having drivers that love to get up the road there. We didn't show Dickinson very much, of course, but so a lot of drivers prefer that, do that, because they're just off into the distance, off into the sunset there. And let's see how it all pans out, of course, for the next races, because you can't win all of them. You can certainly try, but you can't win all of them. But it goes to show you tonight, as we heard from some of the drivers as well, too, some of the qualifying is going to be key, I think, this season.
You say you can't win all of them, but I think that's exactly what Sean Dickinson is attempting to do, actually. And it seems that he's relatively confident that he's going to give it a go as well. He's got, I'll just run through the calendar quickly before we let you go. Navarra, Interlagos, Charlotte Roval, and the Daytona Road Course is the first of the Crown Jewel races to bring us to halfway. Rudskogen, Brands Hatch, Sebring, Belle Isle, and then Bathurst, which is the final race of the season. That's also a 90-minute Crown Jewel race, which offers a few more points as well as 30 extra minutes of rating. So those are the races he'll be targeting this time around. We'll be back at Navarra next week, back live, same time, same place here on the JPU channel. In the meantime, subscribe and make sure you check out some of the other broadcasts that goes on in the next 7 days. But most importantly, be back again in 7 days' time, same place, for the next round of the Parabolic Companies J2ICS GT3 Sprint Series, which comes to you live from Navarra next week. I've been Ewan O'Leary alongside Biggles until we see you for that race in the Spanish countryside. It's goodbye for now.